Hello again everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we are taking a look at both the new Black Square Baron and the Bonanza Professional in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. So here we are at Shell Harbour, south of Sydney, and we are in a rather strange looking, almost TBN-like Bonanza. This is one of 3 different versions that are available in the new product package from the Black Square team, coming imminently, hopefully by the end of the month. And you've got a turbo prop conversion version, which is the one that we're in today to have a little look at. Within the package you've also got the kind of standard Bonanza, if you like, and also a turbocharged variant. So lots of different nuances to the 3 different types available, and as to be expected, we've got some amazing levels of detail from the Black Square team, giving us like full immersion effectively. Look at that flight deck, that cockpit's fantastic. Now, of course, we've had a little look at the Starship, we've looked at some of their other products over the last couple of years, and Black Square really are kind of leading the forefront in development of general aviation and kind of executive style aeroplanes in the sim, with phenomenal levels of realism. So we're going to dive in, have a little look, and enjoy a little flight around Shell Harbour, and I might snap halfway into the Baron. Hit like, hit subscribe, as always, share your thoughts in the comments below. The links are down in the description. And previous owners of the Baron and the Bonanza from Black Square will qualify for a 20% discount when upgrading to the new version. Now, as to be expected, you get a variety of different options. You can change to the TDS GTN XI if you have that instead of the PMS 50 GTN, and it will then, as you can see, change dynamically there. Or you can choose some different primary and secondary radio stacks as appropriate. You can also configure all of your options like before, with some of them other airplanes like Starship, allowing you to effectively customize the airplane exactly how you want it to be. But not only that, but see what it's actually doing whilst in flight as well, because everything, as we've come to expect, is simulated, including failures, engine surge, compressor stalls, all sorts of things. That tablet can get stowed just down there for those of you who aren't sure where it lives, and the control locks get docked down the bottom. So pop the door closed. Nice sounds, animations. Sounds, by the way, Boris audio works. Of course they are. Control locks removed, seatbelt signs, seatbelt secure, cabin doors latched, parking brake set. Once gear handle is stowed. So, beacon on, battery master on. Starting to get the noise already. Really good emissives, lights, signs, that sort of thing. Or the annunciators. Standby alternator on. Quantities checked. Pumps. Audible. 2. On an audible. Pumps off. Ignition check auto. Then on. Standby gyro pump. On. Oh, the noise is fantastic. Instrument air is green. Gyro pump off. Engine starts. All door closed if exceptionally cold. Fine as it is. Starter on. Clear prop. Here we go. Bus volts 15 volts minimum. Gas generator 15% minimum. Ignition lever on. Wow, these sounds. Wait for NG. Looks like we had a little bit of a hot start there. ITT. Ignition off, engine instruments checked, generators on. Turn the generators on, and you can see there the flick switch, and power then changes across the aeroplane. And we can go to the engine, and we're good. Engine conditions 99%. Battery capacity is actually charging. Happy days. We're looking good. Right. After starting, then all enunciators are extinguished. Check generator load with load 25 amps in 2 minutes. Just wait for that. We have only just put it online. Lights as required. We've got nav lights on, beacon lights on. Avionics are on. So taxiing out. Currently we've got a bit of a tailwind. And they're fairly gusty conditions here at Shell Harbour today. You can actually see the grass kind of being blown as well. So just working the taxi out. And yeah, ground handling is as to be expected really. The sound of this thing is phenomenally good. It's really deep and bassy. Let's do some control surface checks, the elevators, just so you can see that, and the trim tab moving as well. At the same time, a little bit of aileron. Bit of a weird one to see, it actually looks a little bit TBM-esque. There's the windsock, a little bit of a crosswind for us. Fairly gusty. So, ordinarily this would be done on the runway, but we'll have a little look at the run-up checks here. Pump one on. Power lever set 2000 RPM. I can even hear on my speakers the induction. It's phenomenal. There's about 2000, smidge over. Let it settle, we're good though with that. And we'll do prop govern test. Small drop. Exercise propeller to 1500. Out there. Fire detection. Test. Generator reset hold. And that is load 0. Standby annunciator was illuminated, as you can see there. I will then release that as well. So standby auto extinguish, generate low below 75 amps. Check. I will leave her to idle. Nice deflector. On. Oil door on. Lights all as expected. And it's oil door open unless exceptionally cold. Instrument air's green. Prop heat on. Prop heat test. Press and hold. Prop amps 20 to 25. Good, that's 24. Prop heat off. Electric trim exercise. Autopilot test. As you can see here, the logic, the brains of the aeroplane really kind of working through all these tests. It's also a good way of getting familiar with the layouts of different switches. Certainly for myself, when I'm really not used to any of this. So I'm just going to hide that for a second. But no, I don't need to because it's here. Autopilot master engaged. Heading mode engaged. Lovely, look at that. Yak movement observed. Flight director's banking left. Heading bug 30 degrees right. Yak movement observed. Flight director's banking right. Autopilot disconnect. Press AP off. Sort that back out. Elevator trim set to take off. Ice deflector and annunciator illuminated. Ice deflector as required. Flaps, check operation. We've already done that and set takeoff. Cockpit windows closed. Oh, nice and peaceful. Departure altitude is set. Aft door annunciators extinguished. We've already done flight controls. Altimeter set. Departure altitude set. Takeoff heading set. Panel lights dim for takeoff. Parking brake released. Before takeoff checks. Oil temperature 115 Fahrenheit. Minimum. Check. Battery temp annunciators extinguished. Air conditioning needs to be off. Landing lights on, check. Transponder alt mode, weather radar on, takeoff. It's going to be power lever, 1200 foot-pounds of torque. And we'll see how we get on as we try and knock the rust off. Okay, take off. Speed's alive. Wowzers. And we're up. That mega. Just noticed we were accelerating rapidly then. We are very light, of course. Just going to manage the speed accordingly. Flaps up. Accelerating rapidly in this white band here. And it's going to be autopilot engaged. So heading. Let's go left. Over the water. One to go. We go. Ignition is going to stay off. Drop to 2200 RPM. That is on 2200. Power lever 1200 pounds-foot torque. We've got a lower power setting, that's because we are light, and we're about to level off as well. Don't need oxygen because we're not going to go that high. Air conditioning as desired. Let's pop it on. Blowers on low. Yep. Leveling off at 3. So, cruise. Ignition auto off, all door closed. Pulse. Ice deflector as required. Pitot heat on if the outside air temperature is less than 4 degrees. And we don't in theory need any of that because we are all groovy for today. So far, really good. Following the checklist, actually quite easy to just jump into and start to learn. Being a Black Square product though, naturally, it's going to be immensely detailed, something that we're going to spend a lot of time getting used to, working away at all the nuances, all the smaller little pieces of the puzzle, so to speak, that bring this together as a superb aeroplane. Down below we've got the Seafront Simulations Sydney add-on pack, by the way. I'll link that down in the description below as soon as it's made a little appearance. But the next question is, what about night time? Well, look at these emissives. It's absolutely phenomenal. Really, really quite cool. I think actually, to be fair, the brightest beacon lights and nav lights I've seen in any aeroplane so far in the sim. That's quite an achievement, because they've done quite poorly sometimes, but not so much with this. We get the obligatory torch, but for a good reason, because we're actually going to turn all the lights on inside. And just behind the co-pilot's light, yoke, sorry, we can change the instrument floodlight settings, set it up just how you want. Flight instruments, turn them up. We've also got a dial for engine instrumentation, which we can turn up and down as well. And the sub-panel lighting, which we can turn up or down as required as well. Which is quite something. I mean, that looks superb, right? Look how amazing that looks. In the back, there's a couple of little light switches with the relevant ambient lights associated with it. And you can see there the kind of bloom effects that you can see from those lights. This table does retract, which is rather nice, beautiful animation associated with it as well, and some of the most incredible views. Look at the kind of like bloom from the lights outside as well. That's pretty incredible, isn't it? The Baron Professional, however, equally incredible lights, signs, sounds, the whole shebang, but even more bassy by sounds. In fact, it's making one heck of a bassy racket in my room, but that's because the sounds are phenomenally good. And look how great those strobes are again. Once more, just superb. Inside the cockpit, you get that real like humdrum type noise, very different to the interior of the other aircraft that were in a moment ago, the Bonanza Professional. This Baron Professional has a couple of different options. We're in a pressurised version, allowing us to fly a little bit higher and pressurise the cabin with door seals and all that sort of stuff, which is pretty cool. And on top of that, you also get a, I think it's a turbocharged variant as well. Let's turn the landing light off there just so you can see the difference that makes. It's quite something. I mean, look at that. Again, a massive manual, like with the Bonanza Professional as well, so you can really dive into the detail. I think it's something wild, like 164 pages with normal procedures, abnormal procedures, loads of hints, tips, tricks, power settings. The Bonanza Professional that we started off in, that has a 204 page manual. Once again with this, you can see all of the different engine conditions. For the two engines. Along with what the electrical systems are doing. So turning the pitot heat on, for example, then ticks that off. You can see that in use. And the cabin environment too. Door seals, really important. Pressurise, depressurise those. We don't really need them because we're doing 3,000 feet at the moment, but it's more so to demonstrate the point. And again, you can tinker with your payloads, your fuels, and all the different options, including those GTN 750, MS50 GTNs and TDS GTN XI options for you as well. And by selecting different modes, it'll then switch the different nav displays. But we've kept the GNS 530 and GNS 430 stacks for today. Autopilot, again, really nice and responsive, works really well. So the versions that we've enjoyed before, the Analog Baron and the Analog Bonanza, have obviously been recreated for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. It's an expansion effectively of the analog variants, hence the 20% discounts if you wanted to buy these two versions for the sim. Thousands of hours, or 1,000+ hours apparently, of additional kind of dedication, doubling of the aircraft's code complexity, and it brings all of the learning as well from the other aeroplanes that Black Square have recently released too. Custom exterior model for the A36. You get the 3 aircraft, as I mentioned before, for the Bonanza. So you've got the normally aspirated A36 with grafted on-tip tanks. Just going to turn a left, turning the autopilot off, and flies really nicely, both aeroplanes. You've also got the aftermarket turbo-normalised turbocharger version and a turboprop conversion for the Bonanza, and they're both accurate inside and out as well. Custom sound packages from Boris Audio works for both aeroplanes, for the Bonanza and the Baron, bringing them to life with the best quality that we've come to enjoy for flight simming. Loads of different paint schemes, authored at 8K resolution. For those of you who are using Sim Update 3 Microsoft Flight Simulator, dynamic registration numbers as well, which is a cool little feature. Custom wing flex and ground vibration physics as well from the Piston Duke have been brought into this. Doors open, And there's also additional kind of wear and tear as you use the aeroplane. We've already had a look at the tablet interface as well, and there's also 5 new interior upholstery packages as well, so different decades of service with different kind of interiors, which is quite cool. And like little features like the armrest there as well to keep yourself nice and comfortable. Physics-based engine simulation, loads of those hot swappable radio stacks as we've already seen, and that environmental control system. Prop hub, oil simulation, simulated engine preheating, loads of new performance tables, voltage-based light dimming, gyroscope physics simulation, the amazing lights and signs. In severe weather, you might be able to get St. Elmo's, I can never say it in one go, St. Elmo's fire as well, and even more. There's tons. Same with the Baron as well, all of the same sort of features in the Baron. You can buy them individually or as a package, which is the one I would obviously recommend because it would ultimately save you a load of money. So cabin pressure, this is a pressurization version, we'll set back to local elevation. I'm just having a little flick about. Our flaps are closed, throttles reduced, mixtures are as rich as they can be. Engine performance is good, cylinder head temperature. Looking good. Landing lights are on. Windshield heat off. Prop heat off, air conditioning come off. We'll open the cow flaps. Mixtures max power and flaps set for approach. They're just joining a little bit of a base leg here, bringing that power down. Flaps in transit. 1000. Little high, but that's okay because we've got a good rate of descent here. We're on the base leg, and we've got one heck of a crosswind because I'm bringing her in on the other runway. Pitch and power, power and pitch. Props are high RPM, mixtures max power, flaps are now fully down and in the full position. Gear is down 3 green and locked. Autopilot disconnected. These hand fly impeccably. And we've got it's about a couple of knots crosswind. Very variable winds. Looking ahead. Manual brakes. And we'll do the after landing checks. There you have it, folks. The Black Square Baron Professional and Bonanza Professional, soon to be released for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Native versions, loads of new enhancements, and current owners of the Bonanza and the Baron can enjoy 20% off the package price when buying. So there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Hit like, hit subscribe, share your thoughts down in the comments section below, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Thanks for watching.